Alright, here we are. Headlights. Part 2, take 3. Okay, this is the third time I've tried to do it. Now, for anyone that may be working on their own project, sometimes you gotta split stuff up, so recording things or writing stuff down really helps. And today, we're trying to figure out, that should be right there, those wiring looms come in. I'm going to disconnect them from that junction block in case there's any problems with the wiring. And I'm going to check out those wirings to see if we are getting power from the cab. Hopefully we are, because if not, that means I got to chase that wiring back and... Oh, hi spiders. Oh, look at all them spiders. Midwest spiders. And get all up under there with those wiring looms. That harness right there. Oops, sorry. Going up behind the steering shaft. Yep. See it going up there. And I have to get the hood open and just do a whole lot of crawling and clambering. All batteries are connected. Light is on. If you got to put your project away, make sure your tools are put away safely. Even though the boot is failed in here, it stays dry enough up front. Alright, so first thing, get you back up there in your spot. Yep, that's a good spot. First thing first, this should be on, I believe. Because I got, you can see, looks like wear on these two, where the rest of them are all even. They got like these lines on it. So these two are the ones that were plugged in. And I am indeed on, the resistance. Cool, tested, everything's good. If I can get a good... Now a lot of these tools have little clip-on gator clips that come with them. You just pop them on the end, that way I could have clipped it on there. But, no, we're good. That is switch on. So I'm going to turn that off for a bit. Plug it in. That one and that one. There. Now I should be getting power down to the headlight section. So let's light is on. Grab the multimeter and hop on out of here. Alright, been out here in a bit, busy with life and family and everything, but I don't see any giant spiders about to kill me. Alright, there are plenty of spiders. Yeah, got that one there, little cellar spider there, but we look okay over here. Alright, so a little long leg, turn the indicator. Volts. Now, I've never covered this before. V is indeed 4 volts, and the line and the dots mean it can do both DC and AC. AC for alternating current, DC for direct. It'll automatically do that, as I've mentioned. The reason why they have these different numbers on here is that is the range of voltage it can test. So it can go down to 200 millivolts. So I can test down really lightweight stuff like electronics and computers, 2 volts, 20 volts, 200 volts, or 1,000 volts. If I'm testing stuff at the house, I would go to 200 range. This is the maximum range it can read up to. And you want to make sure you get your range correct. So let's turn it on. Yep, we're at 20 volts. That is the range of voltage we'll get for this truck. Because, well, it's only a 12-volt system. Some old trucks and some most military modern equipment use 24 volts. So, now I have nowhere to put this phone. I'm gonna have to set you way back here. Yeah, alright, gonna have to put you on the back side. I'll show you the procedure real quick. I don't have a thing to grip the phone yet. What I'm going to be doing is this is the loom wiring harness, and these two come in from the cab. These two harnesses. This one is completely unconnected from everything, so that's good. This one is still connected, and it goes into the junction block here. And you can see on this side, wires are not the best condition. We've got plenty of exposed wiring there. So it could be, and it connects not only to the headlight assembly over here, what would have been the headlight here, but also comes down through this harness to the passenger side. And there could be shorted out wires over there. This green one on the end, that's the ground, back to the frame, but that's good. So any of these wires could be shorting out and killing the whole system. So I'm going to disconnect this local harness and disconnect the remote harness to the passenger side. This junction block, I don't need to worry about where they go, because I can reconnect them. I can reconnect the main harness anywhere I want. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even use them all. These two aren't even used for anything. So all this does, at first I thought this was a fuse, some kind of funky fuse panel box that was modified or something, but this is a junction box. And what junction boxes are usually used for is that you can have different sections of wiring connecting to each other, and you can connect them and disconnect them, add new items, take out old items, whatever, without having to redo the complete entire rest of the system. The main harness comes in from down to the cab to here, and then this connects out to the fender harness, which is just its own separate piece here. So if you got a bunch of different blocks, so when you got blocks like this, you'll often find them when you have big sections where you can separate them into independent pieces without having to cut up the whole harness. It's very useful. Now look at that. We got another wire way down here too. So I don't know which one of these, if any, are the headlights. This green one, should be ground. That goes straight through to the green back here. Nope, that's right here, this one. This far one should be ground. Okay. Because this fender is fiberglass. So anything connected in here, it can't ground out to the body. Because often if you have like lights on a pedestal like this, the ground will just go straight from the pedestal into the body. But since this is fiberglass, and fiberglass is not conductive, it has to ground out through the wiring. Yeah, it has to ground the wiring out. Back to that junction box. And yes, they're coming in on the white and the black, which is at the far end, which is where the green ground down to the frame is. So yeah, it could be an issue that the wiring is perfectly fine and it has a bad ground. That is the most common wiring you're going to get for old stuff. So let's get this set up. Oops, sorry, spider. Let's get you put down. Turn off that extra light there. There we go. Now for this old thing, this is a 6-volt positive car. Completely different setup. And one of the most common issues people have with this is that they'll put in modern wires, and the thickness of the wire is too narrow. As you decrease in voltage, you increase in amperage. And if you see battery cables, they're really, really big and thick. But they only carry the same voltage. They're big and thick like that because they carry a ton of amperage. So when you reduce the voltage but increase amperage, you need thicker wires. And that's the number one cause of converted, or even not converted, but cars that run 6-volt wiring systems that people don't put thick enough wires on. And they have bad grounds. So if you're having an issue with something like that, that's the number one thing to check for. Make sure you got thick enough wires, and make sure you got good grounds. So, first thing, I'm just going to disconnect that wiring from the junction block. Oh, I need a flat tip. I need a flat. Grab this one. And this one. Let's start from here. Turn that off. Oh, sorry, spider. Alright. So, let's get this off here. Let's see if we can. Oh boy, that's some bad screws. Okay, that one moved. But not the one I want. No, they're not moving whatsoever. That's no good. Okay, got one. Good ground for it. Good. blade tighten. Which I need to address that. In the first video I was talking about that little extra piece attached to the air lines that I said was connected via blade fuses. That is incorrect. The blade terminal, but not a blade fuse. Very different thing. Even though they look similar. The purpose of both of them is that they can just plug in and plug out. The blade terminal, you still need to clamp them down to tighten them, but you don't need to completely take out the screw. You just loosen it up and slide it out or slide them in. That's why they're grooved instead of having an eyelet. Now, oh, that one broke. That's great. That's got exposed wiring, so that's gonna pull that out of there. Alright. Oh, that's just looped back on itself. This one's looped right back down on itself. That kind of sucks. Alright. Really, I should be doing this. I really should be doing this with the headlights turned off. That way, in case if there is a problem, it doesn't short out the whole system and cause a fire. So, not good procedure right now. Typically, it's not too much of an issue with such low voltage systems of only 12 volts. I don't know if you can even hear me. There. All undone. Cool. Alright. All these wires pulled. Get around the brake line. Alright. That's nice. Yep, spiders, you're gonna have to be displaced. I apologize. Block right above me. Good deal. What I'm doing right now is just trying to get these there pulled out to where I can see them all. Cool. Got the main harness, and I'm not sure, but they both came up here. Hi, Bailey. Cats like to be outside. We let them out when we can. Alright. So, oftentimes the thickest wires for a shared system will be the ground, because they have to carry the most load. Each of these other wires usually wants to carry back a single thing, like headlight, high beam, marker, turn signal, whatever else. But the ground, especially on a non-ferrous system of fiberglass like this, has to carry all of that back at once. So the ground will usually be pretty big. And the other thing is, I don't know if any of these wires, even if they are ground, or if they have a good ground or not. Because even if one is a ground, if it's not connected well, because my headlight and my lights aren't working, then that means I can test the wiring all I want, and it won't ground out through it. So I got to ground to the frame. I'm going to ground it, ground this, the probe, to the frame. And that way, I completely ignore any bad ground wiring system in here. I'll know I have a good ground. See if I can do this. Yeah, that works. Use whatever you can to get stuff settled in correct, positioned well. There we go. Alright, and actually I'm going to do an ohms test. Screw with block. Well, yep, okay. You can put it on the block up here on the tip of the wire that goes to the ground stud. It wasn't getting any ground. Right on the frame, and I'm not getting the ground. So, yeah. Could just because of wire or corrosion. Yeah, because I'm putting right on a steel like this, and I'm not getting the ground. I'm not getting the ground here either. Not getting the ground there. Wow. Really gotta dig through this. Alright. Sounds like using one of those gator clips are really useful. That way you can put the clip on there and clamp it onto the flange or something, and then scrub it so you get good clean metal. And then you don't have to hold it. It's just clamped in and done. I need good metal. I'm not finding any. Well, joys of working on old vehicles. Try a bolt. Try the top of that bolt there. Try. Good kitty. Top phone running. Oh, I'm not getting the ground. Well, I know I can do this. Alright. That's not getting anything either. Oh, there we go. Alright, so what I'm going to try to do is I can't find a good ground. The terminal, one of these, wire terminal, that has non-painted metal, it's not all corroded, and I am getting a good connection there if I do it at the other end. So I know at both ends of the wire, from terminal to terminal, so to speak, I got good ground, I got good connection. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my probe, with the probe, I'm going to put the probe on the wire terminal. I'm going to make sure I got a good connection through the terminals. Yep. And I'm going to hope that that terminal has a good ground. If it does, I'm all set. I mean, I can check all these wires and know I have a good ground. I'm getting something now that's about 0.4 volts. Terminals. 0.4, always 0.4. Now don't just touch it to the end of it, because these are old corroded wires. You gotta dig at them, get past any corrosion. Copper likes to corrode pretty quickly. I'm not getting anything on any of those. Well, I am getting 0.4. I'm not getting the 12 it should be. Nothing there. Nothing there. And nothing here. Okay. The situation is, headlight harness. I am not getting any power from here. Given the supposition I had a good ground, I'm not getting any power out of it. I wasn't getting any headlights before or anything, so it's entirely possible. Now there's another way to test this, is to get a jump wire. Basically you take a wire, I'll have to look around to see if I know I got a spool of wire somewhere. I don't want to have these just sitting here while I'm looking around. But you take a spool of wire, and you clip it on or attach it to one side of your system. Like I would unplug the switch, and I would plug the end of the wire into the end of the terminal that comes out the cab and down out to here. That way there's no power going to it. I'm plugged in out here, and I have the end of that wire here. Switch this to ohms resistance, and that way I can touch these wires to the headlight circuit. The switch in there. That way I can see if I'm getting power through the firewall connection, where these all connect to. Sorry, if I've got a good connection, I'm getting power. But if I'm getting a circuit through, if I can touch the terminal here and touch it to that wire back up into the cab, into the switch, then I know that I have a good connection all the way up and through. So if I have power coming out of that switch and into that wire, and I don't have power here, I know that the problem is not this wire, because I would have a connection through once I plugged it back in, so I would know I have a bad ground. I'm not grounding it out properly. Problem is, I don't know where my spool is. So let me take one quick look in the cab here, see if I got a spool. I should. Yes, I do. Alright, got a spool of wire. Let's go do this. So I got a spool of wire. Doesn't need to be anything special. Doesn't even need to be a thick spool. Alright, wire brush out of the way. Mail, junk mail really. Put you up here. Alright. So now, shut that switch off. I don't remember which one goes down to the wires, down to the headlight. So I'm going to grab my multimeter again, find out. Let me switch, there we go. Alright. I'm pretty certain the one that's plugged in, oh shoot, let me turn on that light for you. There we go. I'm fairly certain the one that's on the side here is my supply. Fairly certain of that. Let's put you down there. Oh. Right. There we go. I am switched over to voltage. I'm going to unplug. Now I get a ground through here, I remember that. You know, let me take care of this first and then. Okay, 0.4, no, I guess you are power. Yep, okay, this is power. So I need to plug you back in. I want my power coming in on the side. Why? That's just the way I do for right now. It doesn't have any particular reason or meaning or anything. It's just how I want it in here. Because for me, I just remember it coming in from the side. So, let's unplug that. Now you shouldn't really have any power coming out of you. Yeah, that 0.4 again. Alright. Now here is pretty easy. Get yourself some wire. Always have some spools of wire you're going to be working on, especially old vehicles. I need... Oh, I didn't grab my multi-tool. Oh, this will work. I don't want to use that. Get yourself a pair of pliers. All we're doing is stripping the end of it. There we go. Let's give it a little twist so the wires don't fray out everywhere. And then shove it in there. All it needs to do. It only needs to get a connection. This isn't permanent wiring, this is just temporary jump wires for testing. That's all it's doing. And now, we undo the wire all the way out of the truck. Grab our meter, set that down here on the floor so I can grab that in a minute. Grab you, hop back out. There we go. Alright, let's just do this. Let it fall. There we go. Run it out. You just grab it and roll it out. Grab it, roll it out. Yep, I'm going to do undo that whole spool. Turn that light off again. Thank you. Down here. There. Undo the whole spool. Now, grab the meter. When you grab it, make sure it's still plugged in. Jammed in there, so it should be good. Now this end of the wire, the other end of this wire, whoops, is plugged into the wire that should be going through the firewall, connecting to these. Now it doesn't only connect to one, it goes to a number of them. So when I switch this to resistance, I can put one end in here. Again, clips are useful. There we go. I just shoved it right into the insulation. Be careful not to stab yourself. Yep. Now, the meter is sending power through this wire into the other wire, and it should be coming out somewhere through here. So even if I have a short that's been tripping it, this should be small enough power it shouldn't be tripping it. Even if I have a bad ground, doesn't matter. This is its own circuit coming right back to itself. So this should tell me, I don't know about these two, they're either packed with dirt. I don't know if I even got any metal in there. And it's saying solidly OL, out of limits. So I don't think these wires connected to much of anything. Oh, okay. Next we can test turn signal. I'm going to start with the short little tip I have here. No, out of limit. Where is even the wire on this thing? And don't just tap, tap, tap. Don't do that. Scrub on it. Just like before. Especially important when you're dealing with old copper because it gets so corroded and tarnished. Alright, I'm going to do this blue one next because this is the last one that doesn't have a terminal end on it. Ow! Stabbed myself. Tetanus! Yep. Oh, nothing that one. Nothing this one. And nothing here. Alright, huzzah! I have no power up here. I got no connection whatsoever. So, that's what we use that jump wire for. Because it's plugged in, because this jump wire is plugged into the wire that's supposed to come out to here, and I'm not getting any connection through it, something's disconnected. So, let's find out. I'll move these things out of here. Good headlight rings. Good headlights. Maybe. I don't know, actually. Trim ring. Got the 4 screws to hold this part on. I don't want to lose those. Good. Set them right back in the hole where they came from. That's a good way to not lose stuff. Make sure it's still recording. Yep, 28 minutes. 29 minutes. A drink of the juice. Pop this hood open. Alright. I'll split that all the way over. Alright. I don't know if you could even see any of that. Alright. If I can land it. Yeah, you just missed all that. I'm sorry. That was me opening the hood. All it was is pop that, pop the other one. Now this is eye level for me. I'm 6 foot tall. This is what I see. It's that much taller. Just to put there, pull yourself up. Actually, just lever yourself up. That's why the fender has grip tape on it. There we go. Oh boy. Now you can see right here, That's wire that comes in from down below. Oh, that's stiff. Gotta reach around a lot. Now, that's this other fun thing, working on vehicles. You can do a lot of blind reaching. Thankfully, this thing is old, and it's not as tightly packed as modern things. Now I'm looking right through here. Okay, good. So I can touch it. I know for a fact that this is the headlight wire harness right here. These two. These two, one of these two. These are the only thing that come in through here. And I can see them come up through here. And I got my finger on it. I'm feeling it from the back side. Be very careful. I can't see any of it because it's all behind everything right here. But I can feel it. Yeah, right there. Okay. Good and bad news. It goes into the main loom. Main harness. Let me get your light back on. Doot. Alright. I can reach, actually I can do this. Take advantage of technology. See, the smaller one, right down there, loops around behind this big one and comes in right there. Now it's all integrated. Shoot. So I don't know where it goes from there. It should all continue coming up through here because this is the main harness right here. Yeah. Whoops, I zoomed in. I didn't want to do that. And here's the problem. My zoom out doesn't work. There we go. My volume down button doesn't work. Okay, so this harness comes right to here and it stops, and all the wires keep on going up there. Get around the air cleaner intake. There we go. All the wires come up from the main harness. They plug in from right there. Another one plugs in there.